So how's this for comedy? This is actually going to be my second time doing this stream. Yeah, because technical issues know no bounds. Let's get on with it.
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained? Is this not why you are here?
Greetings to everyone watching live and everyone watching after the fact. Shout out to the faithful and salute to the patrons. This is Larry Williams, OAW Commander-in-Chief, hopefully here to bring you all my review of the YashaHime series premiere, season 1, episode 1. This is actually my second time doing this stream because the first time my camera kept glitching out on me. Not the camera itself, but the display. So essentially what was happening, because I think I was about 5 to 6 minutes into that stream, what happened was usually when I'm recording, I can see myself, right? Well, what ended up happening was I'm trying to break down the episode description and whatnot, right? Camera light was still on. It said that I was still live, but I couldn't actually see the playback. And that just threw me off, guys. I'm going to be honest with you all. I know I've been doing this for a long time, and I've been doing live streams for a long time, and I've ran into a lot of technical issues before. But when I can't actually see myself on camera, it's just too damn weird. So, yeah, that's what happened the first time. How about that? Anywho, with that being said, what's happening? What's happening to everybody in the chat? I see people starting to file in. Thank you guys for coming back because that first fiasco was totally my fault. I accept full responsibility for it. But, you know, we make mistakes. We learn from them. We move on. All right, let's get on with it. So now let me redo my introduction for this stream. So anywho, yeah, I just got done not too long ago checking out YashaHime. Which is translated as Princess Half Demon. And this is the sequel series to one of my all-time favorite anime series, Inuyasha, which is the anime series based off of the manga by Rumiko Takahashi, the Eisner Award-winning Rumiko Takahashi, Hall of Famer. Yep, Eisner Hall of Famer. Rumiko Takahashi. So anywho, as I mentioned in the previous stream, but just to freshen it up for the new one. So far as I know, this is an original production. It's an original story. It's not based off of any pre-existing source material, such as manga or a novel or a short story. The story concept was created by the original creator. It was created by Rumiko Takahashi. I don't know if she is going to be an ongoing writer throughout the course of this series, or if it, much like how Dragon Ball Super was done, where essentially she just came up with the initial premise and then other writers came in to flesh out some of the stories. I didn't do too much research on the production of the anime just because I kind of wanted to go into this blind. But I'm pretty sure I'll read more up on it as the series progresses. But funny enough, the first episode, which serves as our pilot, entitled Inuyasha Since Then, this is actually based off of a manga. It is based off of an epilogue chapter that one of the faithful mentioned in the previous stream that shall no longer be named, that epilogue manga was actually released in 2013, which kind of makes sense because I completed the Inuyasha manga as it was running. So essentially what happened was, because I think I started reading the manga in the spring of '08. I kind of like marathon through the manga to the point where I caught up. And so when the final chapter was released in the summer of '08, like I was like at that point I was pretty much reading it because I think it was monthly at that point. So I was pretty much reading it monthly, right? And so yeah, I haven't read the manga since. Haven't been back to the manga since. So apparently since then, the epilogue 2013, so that was what, like about 5 years later? Yeah, that kind of makes sense because I wasn't keeping up with the manga or any Inuyasha news at that time. But okay, time to get into the episode, shall we? All right, guys. So, let me messing up with all my settings. All right, guys. So yeah, YashaHime season 1, episode 1, entitled Inuyasha Since Then. Essentially, what we're getting, I guess you can consider it like the last Inuyasha story before we go ahead and we jump into this story. Essentially, what happens in this episode is that we are introduced to one of the three main characters, and I also think one of the three characters who will actually carry the, I don't know if it's a nickname or a title, but essentially YashaHime, which means Princess Half Demon. Originally, I was under the impression that that was referring to one character. I think it's actually going to refer to all three of them. But for the sake of this episode and for the sake of this review, mainly we focused on one, which is the character of Towa Higurashi. Yep, last name, same as Kagome. We'll find out why that is later. I kind of know because I read ahead, but we'll find out why that is later. And essentially, Towa got herself kidnapped. She got herself kidnapped by a feudal lord whose vassal, his servant, his emissary, if you will, knows more about her than she wants them to know about her. More specifically, the fact that apparently she comes from sometime in the future, and this vassal is already familiar with another person who has been able to travel throughout time, who has been in their time period before, and who didn't belong there, and who also brought with them certain artifacts, I guess you could say, that don't belong in that time period. So we learn later in the episode, he's referring to Kagome. He knows about Kagome. He knows how Kagome was able to time travel through the Bone Eater Well. And he knows that Kagome used to carry around a bicycle because the artifact that he presents to Towa is an old bicycle seat. So, and that's pretty much the linchpin in the episode because he's the one that informs Towa of the story that we see in the episode. And essentially, what this story is, the story takes place, I want to say, I forget how many years it's been. What did they say? No, 6 years. They said 6 years. So since then, the the events of this story takes place 6 years after the conclusion of the main story. And by this point, Kagome has decided to stay in the feudal era, and she's pretty much practicing. The practicing priestess now. She sort of succeeds Kikyo in that profession. And but the why now sort of event that takes place is that an old demon that apparently was sealed by Kikyo in the village, the seal gets broken somehow. And I don't even think they mentioned how the seal got broken. We just know that it got broken. And so that demon, like some of the other demons from the previous season, right? They recognize Kagome's energy and mistaken her for Kikyo. And so they target her because they're after the Shikonju. Now, of course, this demon's been sealed throughout. Well, I mean, they said that the demon was sealed right before Kikyo met Inuyasha. So suffice it to say, that demon's been sealed for at least 50, no, longer than that. No, yeah, at least 56 years. At least 56 years that demon's been sealed. So the demon's unaware of all the events that took place in the first series, unaware that Kikyo's gone, that the Shikon Jewel was destroyed, all that jazz, right? Doesn't matter. Demon pops up, wreaking havoc on the village, and it's up to Inuyasha and the team to, take care of it. So yeah, so that's pretty much it. It's sort of like one of our standard Inuyasha episodes, except we know, I'm assuming, because why else would this be your pilot? We know that it's going to be related to events that are going to take place in this series, per, specifically because, if nothing else, we learned by the end of the episode that that vassal who's sharing the story is an apparition who was present when said fight with said demon occurred. And even with that, we know that there is a 10, no, is it? No, it wouldn't be a 10-year time skip, right? It'd be even longer than that. But we know there was a substantial time skip in between the events of the story versus versus the events of the current story. At least I think it's supposed to be like shit, what did they say? 12, 15 years, something like that. Anywho, but we know this whole thing it's all going to add up eventually, right? This episode was just to get the ball rolling. If anything, I would say it's just to kind of uh just kind of savor our palate, if you will, try sort of get us in get us in the mood for what we're going to be getting later on. And then of course at the end of the episode we saw the first appearance of the other two main characters, which are Setsuna and Moroha. um and they managed to spring Towa, and so all three of them escaped the feudal lord's estate. But essentially, that's where our episode ends. And based upon the preview for the second episode, seems like we're going to be doing more flashback territory, because we're going to learn how Towa and Setsuna meet for the first time. Essentially, this current version of them meet for the first time, but we're going to get their backstory. All right, so that was pretty much what happened in the first episode. But I'm going to go ahead, take these next couple of minutes to kind of give you all like just my general first impression thoughts on the series as a whole, as it stands right now. Okay, um, because I wanted to go ahead and I wanted to give you all my review of the first episode, sort of like spoiler free esque, kind of like how I normally would do if it was an anime episode. But there are some things that were not revealed in this episode that we do know of if you read about what the series is about. So, a couple of things, right? We know that Towa and Setsuna are twins, and apparently those are the daughters of Shishomaru. Okay. And I believe Moroha is supposed to be Inuyasha and Kagome's daughter. Okay. None of this gets mentioned in the first episode, for the record, which I think is kind of weird. But like I said, apparently we're supposed to be getting their backstory in the next episode, so we'll get that. Yeah, okay. A couple of other things. Going to be a couple of other things that I want to mention. So remember earlier when I talked about the title, right? The title of YashaHime, how it's not just the title of the series, but it's sort of more like a title within the narrative, or more like a nickname or whatever. And the way they made it sound at the beginning of this episode, because they do address Toha as YashaHime, they made it sound like um, that was in regards to her. But I'm starting to think, just because of the three main characters and whatnot, that that's actually going to be applied to any one three of them, I think. um which is kind of interesting. The reason why I'm saying that is because if you pay attention to the opening and closing credits, there's this little thing about these jewels that apparently each one of them has. And I feel like that's going to, like, those jewels are supposed to be like some type of heirloom, that they're supposed to indicate some type of nobility, or some type of some type of title amongst those who are in ownership of them. So I think that's going to sort of be like a theme throughout the series. Um, so yeah, we'll just see what the significance of how that whole thing is supposed to play out. If nothing else, just keep this in mind. They are all two of them are siblings, and the other one's their cousin. So they're all related. They're all family. Whatever type of noble title would have been bestowed upon them kind of is shared amongst them. So just kind of keep that in mind. Oh, and let's not forget, Shishomaru was a feudal lord in his own right in the original series, because he was the quote unquote lord of the Western lands, and he ended up becoming a great. He ended up succeeding his father as the great dog demon. So he is, and remember, what was it? The first episode with Shishomaru, the title of that episode is Aristocratic Assassin Shishomaru. So yeah, just keep that in mind. Um, but some thoughts on the series so far. I mean, it's fine. It is in the same vein. It is in the same spirit of the original series. I wasn't disappointed at all. And like I said, if nothing else, just seeing the old gang, kicking it again was pretty cool. My favorite, I ain't gonna lie, my favorite. see, because y'all gonna be pulling out my biases right here on camera. I'm just gonna be honest with y'all. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. I think they managed to keep um the majority of the Japanese cast to come back to reprise their roles, specifically Inuyasha. I've always loved Inuyasha's Japanese voice actor or actress. I forget their name. That's why I said actor or actress, because I can't remember specifically in regards to Inuyasha. But I've always loved that voice performance, and so the fact that it's reprised here, I kind of I just got a kick out of it. Um, but yeah, but other than that, the animation looks good. I thought all of the voice acting was pretty good. My only real complaint was how, because I watched it on Hulu, so how Hulu did the subtitles, I thought was I didn't think it was done very well, because what they were doing was they were translating the Japanese captions at the same time as they were translating the dialogue. So and the way it just is formatted on Hulu's platform, it makes it look like the Japanese captions and the dialogue are like laying on top of each other, because the subtitles are on top of the kanji that appears on screen. So when it's translated, it makes it look like both English translations of that Japanese caption and of the subtitles of the dialogue are on top of each other, when really they're stacked, but you can't really tell. So there were many times that I was pausing it just so I could be able to read what the hell was on screen. The other thing too was the background behind their white lettering isn't dark enough. They use like gray, and then you're using white lettering, dude. That shit is not dark enough. Hulu, figure that out, bruh. Please figure that out. I was able to find the episode on YouTube, and YouTube actually did do the subtitles properly, like in terms of how they look. And I'm like, yeah, thank you. Maybe I'm gonna start watching this on YouTube, because Hulu, look, understand. You guys only had a few hours to, get this translated and dubbed, and subbed and whatnot before you put it on your platform. It fucking sucks, son. Get that shit fixed, please. I beg you, get that shit fixed. Get it fixed. That was only my really main complaint watching this episode. It was totally a technical issue, and it was not by the fault of the animation studio or anything like that. It was all Hulu's fault. So get that shit fixed, please. Um, but yeah, other than that, it's fine. Now, because we only got one episode, and let's be honest, this episode isn't about our new cast of characters, I'm going to sort of reserve any early judgment I have on what I'm kind of picking up, feeding off of these new characters so far, because we just haven't spent enough time with them yet. So I'm gonna hold off on that. I'm also going to take this time to kind of hold off on predictions too, because we haven't even been introduced to what the main conflict of this series is going to be yet, right? So I can't really predict what it is, I can't really try to predict what's going to happen in the series, because we don't even know where we're going to go yet. Like we don't even know what we're going to do. Um there's a couple of reservations I have, that I hope the series doesn't go in certain directions. But until I see signs of that, I'm going to hold off judgment. So I'm going to be very diplomatic about this right now, and just kind of hold off. Um, but yeah, in conclusion, the more I think about it, the more I think this was sort of a weird episode to review, because technically speaking, it's just another Inuyasha episode. But this episode is not a accurate representation of this series. And now that I think about it, they might be setting us up for the okie doke. Think about it, because this is an Inuyasha episode. It's not a YashaHime episode. We don't really know what this series is going to be like. We can hope it's going to be like the first one, but there's no guarantee. And this is anime we're talking about. Who knows what kind of crazy stuff they could do. Yeah, it could be a trap. We'll see. We'll see. But this is what I want you guys to do. Drop your thoughts on the episode in the comments below. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know if you guys have any predictions, any expectations, because some of you guys might have actually read more about this series than I have. Because, like I said, I've read very little about this series, very, very, very little. Because, like I said, I wanted to go into it blind, but now I'm starting to think about some stuff, and yeah, it might be a trap. Anywho, here's another thing I need from you guys. Do you guys want to see me review more episodes of this? Because I know some of the faithful, they've been hitting me up the last couple of months, pretty much asking Larry what happened to the TV reviews. And of course my whole thing has been, it's like, man, I don't even watch television that much. Most of TV I watch, if it's not a handful of shows, then it's mostly just movies and sports. So I'm like, dude, I don't even keep up with television that much. But there are a handful of shows that are coming up that are on my list that would be sort of tailored to what I would normally review on the channel. So a couple of examples of what I'm talking about, like this one, like YashaHime just came out. Mandalorian's dropping at the end of the month. WandaVision, I think, is supposed to be dropping in December. Apparently, Demon Slayer season 2 is supposed to be dropping sometime soon. And we know in April the Shaman King remake is going to be dropping. All of those are on my radar for, it's like, yeah, I'm totally going to be watching those, and I think my viewers would actually enjoy me talking about those shows on the channel. But again, it's a commitment reviewing stuff week to week. So let me know, please, in the comments below. Let me know if you guys want to see more YashaHime reviews. Let me know. Let me know. Depending on how well this vid does and how much feedback I get and whatnot, I'll consider reviewing it weekly. Probably going to be on every Saturday, because it looks like my schedules for the channel are going to be switching back to the weekends. So yeah, just let me know. Anyway, so I want to go ahead, take this time to thank everybody for watching live. Thanks everyone for watching after the fact. As always, be sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe. If you know anybody who liked this video, who you think might get a kick out of this video, please feel free, share it with them by all means. The more the merrier. Share it on social media, share it on Facebook, Twitch, Twitter, all that jazz. As always, follow me on social media, facebook.com/OAW Entertainment, twitter.com/OAWENTMT, twitch.tv/OAW underscore. Well, no, actually, it's just OAW Entertainment now, because I changed the URL. So yeah, just OAW Entertainment on Twitch. Of course, right here, youtube.com/OAW Entertainment. And last but certainly not least, if you guys have any type of request for any anime that you want to see me review right here on the channel, become a patron. Yeah, I'm on Patreon. Become a patron. Patreon.com/OAW. I have a tier for anime reviews. It's called the Crunchyroller tier. For just $20, you guys get to see me. What is it? It's the first. I think I have it the first 2 or 3 episodes of any anime that you guys want to see me check out, or if it's within the same time frame, I can do a OVA or a short anime film review. I've done a couple of those earlier this year. By all means, check those out. Those will still be honored under the same tier, so long as they still fall within the same time frame. So yeah, guys, check it out. Become a patron. Patreon.com/OAW Entertainment. Select the Crunchyroller tier. And in addition to your request, you also get access to all Patreon exclusive content. You get access to the OAW Vault, which is the original 2 seasons of Otaku Assemble Weekly, which was the original anime and manga review show that started the channel. And you also get an invite to join in on the live monthly Q&A that I host right here on the OAW YouTube channel, Facebook page, and Twitter channel. All of that in that Crunchyroller tier. So yeah, once again, guys, check it out. Patreon.com/OAW. All right. So what to keep an eye out for, guys? I am currently in the process of finalizing the schedule for October because, like I said, depending on what happens with YashaHime, depending on because Mandalorian's kicking off at the end of the month, and there's a lot of requests that I got to get back to right now. Not taking any new requests via YouTube, via Super Chat. It's Patreon. Only on Patreon is where I'm taking requests right now. But I got some requests I got to knock out before the schedule gets busy. Keep an eye out though, because I will be keeping you all up to date. One thing I will mention for all of my patrons watching, the final, what is it? It's the final 3, I believe. The final 3 episodes of the OAW Vault are going to get posted this month starting on Monday. The final 3 episodes every Monday starting this Monday are going up. So patrons, make sure you got your notifications on. You should be getting emails and messages about those posts when they come out. Yeah, finally finishing the vote this month. So yeah, keep an eye out for that. Anyway, guys, it's time for me to get out of here. This has been Larry Williams, OAW Commander Chief. I am signing off, and I will catch you cats later. Peace.
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained? Is this not why you are here?